Check out the show. Check it out. It's time for Candid Conversation. Conversation with Lady T and JT. It's time for Candid Conversation. Conversation with Lady T and JT. Check out the show. Check it out.
Well, good evening and welcome to another Candid Conversation. How y'all doing on this 4th day of March? We just want to welcome you again to Candid Conversations. I'm your host, Lady T. We are on Oak 93.5 if you're on your radio. If you're not, then of course we're here on Facebook, on our pages, and on the Oak page. So click like and share. But before you do, you know I'm not alone. I have with me your girl, my girl, our girl is here.
Listen, it is your girl, JT. And I'm going to tell you, I am counting down to the big 4-7 come Friday. And it can't get here fast enough.
47. What the young folks say? 47 where, sis? Y'all, her birthday is on Friday.
Yes.
Turning the big 47.
Girl.
I'm going to catch up with you eventually. But I'm kidding. It's a beautiful thing, girl. You look good. You're growing older and wiser gracefully. So we're looking forward to celebrating our girl on Friday. Y'all send some happy birthday shots out to our girl, JT. All right? All right. Hey, girl. Hey, girl.
Girl, hey. Listen, it's a whole lot going on, honey. You know, March is the beginning of Women's History Month. So we are so excited to celebrate some of the absolutely amazing things that women are contributing as they're making herstory. And so, you know, we're going to be coming in the next few weeks and highlighting some of the amazing accomplishments that women are making in real time that are contributing to our culture in a positive and productive way. But, you know, Tisha, we still live in a time where unfortunately women are grossly underpaid compared to their male counterparts. And so, you know, with all this conversation going on about, you know, DEI, you know, we need to be talking about the things that the things that are important. And part of that is, you know, making sure that, you know, we get equal pay if we're doing the same job. You know, let's get into it.
Let's get into it. If you all can relate to that comment, then we want to hear from you. Definitely want to hear from you in the comment section, because if a female is doing the same job as a male, should they not? And why not? Why not? So I get it, Jay. Have you ever experienced anything like that in the workplace?
Yes.
Really? Oh.
Yes.
Okay. We ain't gonna hey, we ain't gonna talk. We ain't gonna stay there because you know. But have you all experienced that in the workplace? Should women be paid just like men, especially doing the same job, and sometimes a little bit more, because we do know that women are very organized, structured beings. And it's Women's History Month. So yes, we're going to be definitely highlighting and talking about some amazing women. Hey, Janelle, welcome. Janelle is in the comments. Thank you so much for joining us. And she says she's experienced that as well.
Okay. Yeah. And I'll tell you, you know, even, you know, and I know that you are a multipreneur, which is what we really appreciate, because honey, you got them businesses and they generate ends and it creates jobs for people. But you know, and a few weeks ago we had Renee Wilson on, who is the owner of It Sparkles, It's Clean, It Shines. And you know, just talking about a woman in business having to compete against cheap labor. You know, sometimes it can be very demoralizing when, you know, you're qualified, you're capable, you're competent, and for whatever reason, depending on what that bar is, your income is lower than your male counterparts. I have personally experienced it. I have witnessed it, and I don't understand why. I don't understand why we're still doing that in 2025.
It's
So
definitely not fair. I don't think it is. Janelle said E is for equity.
yes.
Mm.
Now, listen, we know that everybody doesn't get an equal outcome when it comes to things in life, but there are
Right.
things that we can control in the workplace. If you have the same education, the same, the same experience, and you're performing, right? Then,
Hmm.
especially if you're performing, so we're going to put a P for performance.
Right, right. People,
Performance should push the pay, the other P, the P for pay. But again, it's Women's History Month. And listen, again, we've had quite a few women creating businesses.
right,
You guys know about our girl Ashanti. She has started a fertility company. Now, Ashanti is known as an early 2000s pop R&B superstar. When she first actually dropped her first album, she outsold Beyonce on their first album.
right, right,
Talking about
right.
her story, we know what happened with history. But she's gone on to be a phenomenal actress. She's now a wife and a recent mother. But I
Yes.
think, Tanisha, that the streets are saying she might be ready for baby number two.
And that's what the streets are saying. We ain't making up the news. We're just reporting it. And it's sad. And her little baby bump that we witnessed on recently, it said there may be another little Nelly in the oven. And if I'm not mistaken, she is a woman of a particular age group, Jay. So
Yes.
are you finding, and of course, their status and they are, mega stars or what have you in their own right. But are you finding women having babies later in life? Like, you know what I'm saying? Because see, things are so different out here now. People are getting their careers going and they want to do everything they can. And this my biological clock stopped ticking at 30 is not necessarily the rule anymore. I mean, it used to be the rule. But have you noticed? And what say you, Jay? This
Yeah,
is
it's
the age.
very noticeable. And listen, we want you guys to jump in the comments because we want to
Mm-hmm.
hear from you too. So we know that with celebrities, they have access to a lot of things, and that maybe the average person doesn't. But
Right,
she shared that recently that she froze her eggs because when she was at the height of her career, she wanted to make sure that as she was securing the bag, she was also
right,
securing her dream of becoming a mother.
right.
And so she froze her eggs. She had her first baby at 42. It looks like baby number two might be coming at 43.
Yeah,
But we also saw Janet Jackson have her first baby at 50. At
right,
50.
right. 50. Woo, honey. Do you know any? I don't know anybody particularly that had a baby at 50, but I do know someone who has a 15-year-old and got pregnant at 39. Yours truly. So I mean, it's possible. It just depends, because I hear some people like, girl, at 39, what? You having a baby at 40? What? Yeah, yeah. Been there, done that. And I don't regret a moment of it. But as you aforementioned, Janet did 50. I don't think I'm that much of a woman for that. I don't think, I really don't. Janet, could you do a 50? Janet Jackson did 50. If you're just joining us, Janet just mentioned Janet Jackson had a baby at 50. We're talking about having this, women waiting for later in age to actually have children. You know what I'm saying? I think it could be a good thing and bad thing. I like
Well,
it. It works for me.
let's okay. We've got Pauline Scott in the comments, and she says she's taking care of a 50-year-old. In fact, quite a few of them, that have had babies in their 50s. I think it's phenomenal. If because I
Yeah,
don't think it's too late to ever want to start that dream of motherhood at whatever age.
right.
But and my sister is saying, yeah, that's me,
Yeah.
looking to have a baby a little later in life.
Listen,
Yeah.
I'll be the spokesperson. It's not that bad. I mean, it's not that bad. I mean, I for real. Some people are built to have steps like babies, like 1, 2, 3, 3, 5, 7. I'm built a little differently. My children they are so gapped in age, and it was done, for whatever reason it was done. I love it. I don't know how I could. And shout out to all you multiple baby having people, Jan, two the same age, set twins. Shout out because y'all had, but I would prefer to have that one, let it grow up a little bit so you can help my out. Then I'm, you know what I'm saying? Because then me, I was traveling, I'm all over the place. Before LJ came, we were like, he got to have a passport. So some people choose. I'm not, I'm not making the billions like the Janet Jackson, but some people choose to have, separate their children. And then sometimes it runs into the late 30s, ladies, and early 40s. And in Janet Jackson's case, the 50s. Anyway, Lord, that will be done. Because what I did, I always prayed for a boy. Be careful. Now, you want to pray for I wanted a boy so bad. And I got my boy at age 39. I conceived that young man who turned 15 yesterday. So, yes, waiting late in life is all right. Jackie, I'm with you, sis. And Janet, we babysitters. And let me tell you, I'm staying on the subject for just a second. But when they found out that I was pregnant, I was about 7, 8 months, right?
Yes, it was late.
Yeah. That's what, not just you all, right? My mom too. If you all were there, it was my 40th. Yes, it was. And my mother got she was shocked with everybody else. So yeah, I helped out. And then, I think it was 6 months because I could still wear regular clothes and still be like, my heels. And yeah, I did do that. But so yeah, waiting late in life, one, is not a bad thing. It's not for everybody. It worked for me. And he keeping me young, girls. They keep you young.
Yes. Well, I'm just gonna put it out there. I'm not having no more children. I'm done. Right? I have adults. We're good. I had 2 at the same time. I would not. No. We're good. But for those of you, again, if you want to be a mother and you're not one, it's never too late. And again, we're aging gracefully, sometimes not so gracefully. But if you have that desire to want to be a mother, adoption is always an option if you're not able, to bear a child, because there are a lot of children that need love. And that's not to say that I wouldn't do it again, but it would be adoption. It wouldn't be coming through this vessel because,
You've done your job of multiplying this earth and with 2 very beautiful, wonderful children. So yeah, we've done our jobs, Janet. We're just watching them grow, and then their children will be your baby anyway. Just like my Baylor, even though I love at a distance, but yeah, I can't hold and squeeze her, but so that would be your baby. Anywho, we're moving on. So y'all, hey, welcome. This is Janice. I see a few of you guys in. Thank y'all so much for tuning in today. If you're just joining in, March is Women's History Month. We've had a lot of things going on, and of course, we as women always have things going on. But we're not just here just to highlight one. We're here to talk about some of the struggles that women have. And one woman in particular, Jay, she recently was in the Carolinas. She did a performance. Not a performance. She ministered at a church service, and it was none other than the LeAndria Johnson. Yes. And if you could tell the audience just a tad bit about what has been happening recently and what happened most recently concerning LeAndria.
Yeah, so listen, I'm gonna get into it now. That's my girl. I love me some Lele. That's my girl. That's my girl.
Do we not?
We love her because we had the privilege of seeing her live in concert a few years ago. And she was so relatable. She gave a phenomenal show.
She did.
But as of recently, she's had, she's always been very transparent about her struggles. Mm-hmm. And a few weeks ago, my girl Lily, she unfortunately, she was arrested for public intoxication. And this is her second arrest in the past few months. And in fact, we had done a show, I think, right around the holidays, about better days coming, in which we highlighted one of her amazing songs. But most recently, she was arrested for public intoxication. Yes. And again, she's been very transparent about her struggles, around alcohol addiction. And so, the internet had a lot to say. In fact, it was quite divided. You had some people, you had two delegations of people, some that were saying, listen, you need to go get some help. And then, we can start all over because, we as a people, we're very loving. We're very forgiving. We believe in a good second chance,
Yes.
And then you had another delegation of people that were like, listen, we all struggle with something. Leave her alone and let her be. Right. And so, we want to hear from you guys in the comments, when you see, your beloved, artist, and in this instance, a gospel artist who is struggling with addiction and still trying to press forward in what they're saying is their assignment, how do we handle that, as those who are, believers? We would love to hear your thoughts because we've read a lot of the comments and it's just not, it's not clear cut. I mean, it's either one way or the other. So.
Right. And that's why we want to hear from our audience. We would love to hear your opinion on that. Janelle said, I love her and her gift. However, she needs help with her issue. And that's been the biggest thing. That's been the biggest thing with most people. That's been, people saying, yeah, she has a gift, but she also has an issue, right? And the issue obviously may be alcohol because we've seen her not once, but twice recently, right, in the news about it, right? So I'll say that. But to your point as well, is because we know she's in the public eye and she shouldn't sing because she has a vice. And does she, you know what I'm saying? Like, because we see her as knowing that each and every one of us have a vice of some sort, one or the other. So I love to hear people's opinion about it. Should she continue to, minister God's music right now, or God, minister to the people right now with her issues, or she not? It's really it's a good question. And I'd love to hear the answer. And listen, it's only your opinion. All opinions matter here on Oak, here on Candid. All opinions matter. It's not the Bible. We just want your opinion. So share. And thank you, Janelle, for your comments. I agree. She definitely needs some help.
Tanisha, I'll tell you, a few months ago, I asked a question and I said, she's anointed. And one of our listeners said, is she anointed or is she talented? And I said, or is she anointed or is she gifted? I beg your pardon. And I said, ooh, that's a good one. Is it an anointing or is it a gift? Because again, when she sings, it is, I know it's a gift because not everybody can sing like that.
Her voice is a gift. She has a gift, a talent, right? Should she not use her talent while she's dealing with sin or dealing with, you know what I'm saying? Said gifted lady. I'm praying for her. Thank you. The evangelist Tamika L. Douglas just commented, and we agree with that too. Listen, she one of our favorites, and we love her and we love her gift. And if you feel an anointing when she's singing, it has more to do with you. I mean, you know what I'm saying, what's inside of you. So anyway, we'll pin that there and just give us your opinion whenever you can. When it's type it in comments. Yeah. On another note, Jay. Oh, sorry. Do you have anything else to say about Lily before we move on? I do want y'all to know though. I tried to reach out to her. I invited her to come on the show. I was a little late in the hour. She may have phone. I don't know. I tried to get my people, call her people. They didn't do it, so I did it myself. I reached out. So anyway, just in case LeAndria is watching, we love you here in North Carolina, and we are praying for you. And that's for okay, Jay. I'm sorry. Go ahead. Oh, yeah. Sorry. One more comment.
So listen, yep, we have a comment.
Hey, Lady T and Miss Janet, looking great, talking great. Thank you, Lady Tim. I love living vicariously through that lady right there, boy. She's always flowers and the meal. Okay, we'll talk about it. Tiffany, thank you for tuning in again. All right, Jay, what you got?
Tiffany, I love the fact, girl, that I'm traveling right now through you because now I physically can't go nowhere. We'll get to that later on. But we're talking about our girl Lily. And, and, I'll tell you, I tuned in this past weekend as she was ministering here at a church locally. And you could see that she was pressing through. And you know, and she owned, you know, what she you know, she owned what she was going through, you know, and but just to see that, you know, just to see her press and trying to get, you know, get through, you know, her assignment. I'm going to hold my thought. I'm going to read Pastor Cedric's comment, and then I'm going to finish my statement. Pastor Ced writes, Noah got drunk after he finished his assignment. As Christians, we sometimes don't have good outlets after our assignments. She may need to consider a spiritual circle and not people that hand her drinks.
That's what my sister and I was saying the other day. It depends, that circle of people who are around you. Your circle matters. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I agree with that 100%.
Your circle absolutely matters.
It matters. Yes.
You know, Lady T, you and I were talking about something yesterday, and I said, "Oh, they are part of the cosign train." And I mean, there are a group of people who, I'm not going to say that they're not your friends, right? But there are a group of people in your life that cosign everything you do, whether it's good or bad. And yes, we want to be 10 toes down for our girls, our circles, our friends. But you got to have somebody that loves you enough to say, I don't know if that's a good idea. Have you thought about this, whether you like it or not?
Thank you. And don't get offended. Don't end your friendship. That's your friend. You know what I'm saying? That's who you need in your life. Not everybody's going to be agreeing with you and agreeing with what you do. Evangelist Janice Scarborough says, I feel she should stand down for now to allow God to do true work in her. And can you imagine? Because she's talented. I mean, she's still talented. That voice is just it's beautiful. However, imagine when she, you know, has dealt with those vices and God has delivered her, because he is a deliverer. You know that. So I agree with you, Sister Janice. Jay, can you get that one from Roberta?
Yeah. Yes. So our girl Roberta. Hey, Roberta, girl. Hey. Roberta writes, I think her voice is both. However, when we decide to hold men, folk in leadership accountable for their moral failures, then maybe, I'm not saying that she doesn't need to be delivered and maybe take the time to get restored. I'm just saying, let's pick one, accountability or not, on all fronts.
That's an excellent point.
Yes.
That's an excellent point. An excellent call out too, because accountability matters. Hey girl, hey. So I agree with Roberta. Pastor Cedric said, your anointing can make you drunk in the flesh. Okay, your anointing can make you drunk in the flesh. You will get this.
Pastor said, that's going back. Oh, no, he came back. He said, no, your anointing can make you drunk in the flesh. We knew what you were saying. And we caught it today, sir. It didn't take us 2 weeks. We got it. We caught
that part.
But no. But what I was saying earlier was, when I saw her ministering at a church locally this past weekend, she was in a room full of people that made her feel comfortable, that had to help, you know, her get through her assignment. But, you know, and again, you know, she said that, you know, when you get sick and tired of being sick and tired, that's something that she's going to have to work out. And she's right about that, because when you get sick and tired of being sick and tired, then you figure out, when you get to the end of yourself, then you make a decision to change. And so, you know, we definitely are going to be praying for our girl Lily, praying that, you know, she starts to think about how she's going to process through the steps to change her life for the better, because she's got so much going for her. But what I was going to say was, what encouraged my heart the most was to see her friend, who was another renowned gospel artist, come and support her and honestly minister to her, to tell her, you better than this. And she even gave her testimony of how she has been delivered from a cocaine addiction of 18 years. And people need to hear that, you know what, we serve a God that can still deliver, that he is still setting free, and that he is still able. And so when we have vices, because everybody deals with something, nobody is perfect. But when we deal with our vice, we have a God that can deliver us from our vices. And if he can deliver her friend from cocaine, he can certainly deliver you from alcohol.
Yes, and I appreciated her friend not for more than one reason, but the fact that she stood publicly and said that, I didn't personally know that about her friend. But when she stood out there, she exposed her and I'm going to say the popular statement, even though she exposed her truth, if you would. And to her friend who's currently going through, let her know, listen, you're in the public. Not only that, Jay, but the fact that we did talk about how we saw, that true friendship there. But she exposed her truth or secret to everybody. You know what I'm saying? So she made herself just as open and vulnerable as LeAndria is. That's what I got from that. I'm like, now, baby, you know what I'm saying? They know about you. They talking about you. Now let me give them something else to talk about. Pretty much. You know what I'm saying? And letting them know I had this problem, but God delivered me. And then LeAndria, what you got? It's nothing. God got you. You know what I'm saying? And that's what I got from that. And I just thought that was so amazing. And the fact that, and I was like, she bought her, they came out. Her daughter was there with her. Her friend was there for her. And that was just, y'all, that's a beautiful thing. Love is action.
Girl, speaking of love, let's get into it. I don't know who that little boy was, but he stole the show for me. Jay love the kids.
Yes. Oh my gosh. And to me, I'm a thinker, right? So I'm like, God, he allowed that little boy. That could have been just the strength that she needed to pull through. Like, she felt the love of the saints in there, I'm sure. A few of y'all, whatever. But that baby, that innocent child right beside her, it just gave her, I feel like it gave her what she needed to pull through and make that do what it do. And he just so loving. She blessed him financially. Listen, I was here for it. I was here for it. Okay, so Pastor said has a comment. Can you see it, Jay? It's halfway.
Yes. Pastor said writes, if she sits down, then she doesn't need to be in isolation. She needs to be in consecration. And our assignment can help us live.
That's a good point. So she definitely needs to consecrate. If you don't know what that is, y'all look it up because it's something that we all should be doing, consecrating it. But Pastor said, good point. I just feel like she was in the right place at the right time on Sunday night when I saw her at the church with her friend being there, just among. If you're sick, come to the hospital. Not saying that you got to be the doctor, but that was the way to get her to that hospital in that particular assignment. You know what I'm saying? Her friend did drop, seeds, and she did, I think blessed her. Roberta says, we're just fortunate our weaknesses and failures are not on display. Come on. Girl, hello. If I wish your offering. That's what I'm saying. Like, she's in the spotlight. She, everything is going to be talked about concerning you. You're in the spotlight. Anything you do, it's a light on it. But we do know if we can see each other's vices, and I'm not talking about once or twice, I'm talking about every day or every Sunday when we're sitting there in churches together. Just, so yeah, her sins that happen to just be, out loud or whatever. Praying for her. Yes, ma'am. That's the bottom line. Pray for her as we pray for one another, y'all. Facts at Roberta. Right. That's right. Very, very, very true. I was saying earlier. I'm sorry, Jay. Go ahead.
Yeah, I was just going to say, I do think, we started this conversation with, because y'all would, like I said, we saw y'all on the beat. We seen y'all in these comments, and, like I said, it's very divided on one way or another. The only thing that I do want to say, though, is that I think for those who are not in church, those who are lost, some people look at their gospel artist as that's the only scripture that they hear. They're not reading their Bible. They're not knocking the doors of a church. They're not hearing a preacher. And so we've got to, if we're going to, whether we preach the word of God, speaking it or singing it, you still got to live it. Right. And so at some point, we're hoping that our girl just kind of reconciles herself and allows the healer to heal her so that she can come out of those vices. And I just believe that God is going to take her to a whole nother level if she lays down those things that are weighing her down, because she don't need it. But again, we don't know and not to give an excuse, but some people, they go through traumatic events and, it's a coping mechanism, but we've got to give that to the Lord and let him deliver, because we all have been through something traumatic or something that, is, that is overwhelming. And, you turn to that thing for comfort, but that's where we've got to turn to the Lord, because again, that gift that God gave her, I'm pretty sure it comes with a certain level of warfare.
Yes.
Has to.
Yes.
Which is why we don't deals with advice, but
Yeah.
That girl can sing.
She has an anointing. I mean, and to sit there and say better days, better days, you steady singing and that's you know the song, you know what I'm saying, but you still dealing. So yeah, God's just got to deal with her. And like he has to deal with us and everybody, with our vices that no one can see. So Jay, to your point, you're very, very true. Janelle says, unfortunately, it's a coping mechanism for her. She still is grieving the death of her brother. Right, right. And people, So I agree. So we open it up with how Pastor, excuse me just a minute. Pastor Cedric says, I don't get drunk, but those French fries got a hold on me.
It's okay.
You know what? Pastor Cedric, only Pastor Cedric. So back to the subject matter. We're gonna keep her in our prayers. Let's just say that. Bottom line, we're gonna keep her in our prayers.
Yes.
We started out, if you came in late, we were asking and proposing a situation with our sister, LeAndria Johnson, who is dealing with things. And publicly, we've seen her dealing with public intoxication, yet and still ministering. And so we just wanted your thoughts on that. It is Women's History Month. It's the month of March 2025. Every day of March is Women's History. So you've joined us today, and we're just talking about women in general. Maybe, of course, we're going to talk about men too, but right now we've been talking about LeAndria Johnson because it's in the news. We don't make the news, we're just reporting it. We also have some other news, and that's about if you're anywhere between, if you would call yourself raised in the 90s or the 80s, and even in the 2000s, Angie Stone. Then you are familiar with her music. You may be familiar with the show My Girlfriends, in which she wrote the theme song for. Jay, can you talk about my girl for just a couple of minutes? Because we really want to shout her out. She was such
Yeah.
a gift in the industry. Go ahead.
Yeah. So, over the weekend, we saw the reports come in that, a renowned neo soul superstar, Angie Stone's
Yes.
life was cut short in a fatal car accident where out of a group of 9, she was the only person who did not survive. And her life was cut short at the tender age of 63 years old. And, Angie Stone has been in the music industry for decades. She, again, she was signed to J Records when Clive Davis was first launching that label with Luther Vandross at the time, Alicia Keys, and herself. And so, in the early 2000s, I mean, we heard those songs, Black Brother. Black Brother. My girl Dana said she's been in the industry since 1973. So
okay.
Who knew? Thank you, Dana.
Hey, Dana.
Hey, Dana. But we remember those songs,
Yes.
Brother. I didn't know that she wrote the theme song for Girlfriends. I didn't know that. But I did know that she was one of those and as Janelle said, she was an icon. I will miss her, but her music will live on. Absolutely. Yes. Absolutely. Because when you think of Angie Stone, you think of the big curly afro. You get a whole vibe.
That was my girl.
She was our girl, and we would go and see her, when she was performing, in the early 2000s. But yeah, her life was cut short this past weekend. But right before Angie's life was cut short, she went on live and she publicly, let the world know that, she was not being paid properly by Universal Music. And Angie Stone wrote all of her own music. And so when you think about that time frame of her dropping at the same time, and I'm saying from a commercial success perspective, as Alicia Keys, Angie didn't get the flowers that she deserved while she was here. She should have been a much bigger superstar than what she was. And yes, Janelle, she is the queen of neo soul. And hello, Jude. Good to see you. Thank you for tuning in, sir. But yeah, she is the queen of neo soul. And yet, she had a nice reign in the early 2000s. But there were some things that kind of overshadowed, I think, her musical career where she didn't get the props that she rightfully deserved.
What do you think those things were, Jay?
Okay, well, listen, this is Candid Conversations.
We just gonna tell it, All opinions matter.
All opinions matter. And we need y'all to chime into these comments because today y'all are our special guests.
Yes.
we need y'all to talk about it.
Those that know. I'm just trying to figure out why her career didn't take off. Is it because, and I'm just saying, this is my deal. I'm going on the aesthetic side of things. She didn't have this certain look because she definitely had the talent. Is it what Hollywood consider beauty that hinder her skin to being a little more melanated than others? I'm just saying, it's the real world.
Well, I think that all those things played into, took an account. I mean, again, it's the early 2000s. We got Angie Stone, we got Luther Vandross, and we got Alicia Keys. Luther Dance with My Father. Y'all know that. That ended up being, of all of Luther's hits, that ended up being his signature song before he had a stroke. Okay, we're not talking about Luther right now. We're talking about Angie. You got Alicia Keys, you got Angie Stone.
Right.
Alicia Keys blew up. She also is a singer-songwriter, but but Angie didn't go there. And you know why? I think it's because we turned on Angie. Why? Because she was dating and had a real relationship. It won't know he didn't quit.
Right.
I ain't think about you. They
loved each other.
D'Angelo.
Yes.
Do y'all remember that?
Yes. And just because he was a few years younger, I think, is that why they turned on her? Because I feel like we turned on her. I didn't. I was here for
I didn't turn on
her baby out there. I mean, she had a baby by D'Angelo. Did y'all know that? Do y'all remember D'Angelo? How old y'all out here in the comments? Let me hear. Because girl, that was like big talk. Oops, Dana. Could you say 20 and 29?
Angie. Girl,
was he that young?
I mean, he's kind of tender. If it was that much of an age, he kind of tender. I don't know if you want to talk about the dead, but that's kind of tender.
Dana said he was 19 and she was 30. If you're out there in the listening audience and on the radio, that's a big difference.
Well, let me say this, right? So let's throw back 25 years, right?
All right.
Okay, 25 years ago, we all remember that. I think the album was called Voodoo, and the How Does It Feel video. Now, I'm not, I just think back, throw back 25 years when D'Angelo did that video, How Does It Feel?
Yes, I remember.
And so, his album went bananas because we all saw the video. And then you go fast forward to the Grammys, and he's got Angie Stone, his woman. Okay, not his. I ain't thinking about her. I'm not claiming her. He claimed her, and it just seemed like we went crazy. Like, what? Why her? Why her?
Right. Yeah. And why? Why is that? Why? Is it because of the age? Could have been. Jay, I'm thinking. Or is it because of aesthetics? But anyway, I digress. We had some few people in the comments.
I think it's the aesthetics.
I'm standing on that. Janelle said D'Angelo is forever babe. I saw comments up before that, Jen. I don't know if you can see it. I can't get it. But I agree. D'Angelo is some piece of something that then. I have not seen D'Angelo in years. Is he still making?
Oh, he don't look like that no more.
Oh, he doesn't.
No.
Oh, okay. Oh well. But yeah, I agree, and I think that was a pretty big age difference. Pastor said I did not know it was 19 and 30. That is more than just a few years. I was supposed to say Angie said herself that it was because of how she looked. Okay, it's okay. See, and I agree. What is the level of beauty? What is beauty, y'all? What you know what I'm saying? Like, but she got him, and a lot of people wanted him and couldn't get him. How about that? She was a beautiful brown skin sister. Go ahead. Sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, and I think D'Angelo said, I think Angie Stone did a unsung, and I think it was in that unsung, she was saying that whereas, the women of the world were looking at this man that had these six packs and water running down the six packs, and he could sing and he could play, and she she was holding him down as he was struggling through addiction. She was paying all the bills. She literally was holding that man down, and he loved her. He saw past. So we can talk about what we think the standard of beauty is. Beauty is in the eye of the beholder, because he liked it. He liked it so much he gave her a baby.
Gave her a whole son. So hey, but again, oh, Pastor Cedric says she promoted Black beauty, right? Natural Black beauty. I just, and that she's first when I started wanting to wear the afro, it was because of her afro. I was like big curly afro. She promoted Black beauty. I agree. Can you see Dana's comment?
Dana says, let's just say she was like me, fat, dark, big lips, and an afro before afros came back.
Amen.
Girl, stop. We're not doing that. Okay.
Sounds beautiful, soul sister. Anyway, I know one thing, boy. When she came out with Black Brother, what? That was my anthem right there. Janelle said she did, and they were madly in love. Exactly. So, anybody, I'm interested in the comments and you all. Do you all think that age gap would have made a big difference for you? Like, you know what I'm saying? I just wonder. If she was skinny and light skinned, they wouldn't have cared. Ooh,
facts.
Period. That's Roberta. You picked up what I was putting down. Seriously, and is that and since we're talking about it, and summer is approaching, and as I used to hear my first lady years ago say, "Sap rising," and things of that nature. Being skinny, that's the level of people calling. If that's what you consider beautiful, at what cost do we want to fall in line with that, Jay? Angie was fire all over her. Now that was a girl, and we're gonna miss her. But again, her music will live on, and we do hope and pray that if Universal, did we even talk about that? Well, you mentioned it, right, JT? That she accused of Universal for like stealing her royalties, right? And
yeah,
not
she said they weren't paying her right.
Right. And so she said, and I heard it. She said she could have retired 20 years ago. Do you know how long that is to have been able to retire? How much money someone had to have been stealing from you? And then, ironically, she passes in a sprinter with one of 9. And, it's just, so people are speaking on that. I'm going back to that for just a second, because people are and have a lot of opinion about that. We have the conspiracy theorists on one side, and we have, it was her time just to go. They didn't pay her royalties, right, Janelle? That's what we've been hearing, and it's all in these social media streets. We don't make up the news; we just report it, right? So, if that's the case, 20 years ago, she said that she could have retired. Can you imagine how much money that woman is owed? And to your point, she's gone. Her music will live on, but I'm praying that her children and her children's children will be able to live off of that. You know what I'm saying? So I hope that is the case, that with her music and everything, they'll get her with that, what she's owed, and then the royalties going forth for their mom's gift to this world, because that neo soul singer sister was bad. Okay.
Yes.
Oh, we were talking about beauty, Janet. So you were saying, I think Dana said Roberta said that she was looking a certain way. So earlier we have been talking about beauty and what people consider beauty, and how people are risking their lives in the name of beauty. We know that there have been people that we've heard about in the news who go get operations to try to make themselves look a certain type of way. People get their income tax even. That's a popular thing for everybody to fly to Miami or go to Atlanta and do things to their body parts and things like that to enhance in the name of beauty. But is that beauty? And is that worth it? Is that worth the risk? Because at the same time, we hear people that don't even get off that table from those said surgeries being done, whether it's a PVD, whether it's moving something from one place to the other. You know what I'm saying? So Jay, can we talk about that for a minute?
So I think recently we've seen where Lizzo has lost a bunch of weight. And so they were like, "Oh, you were talking about being fat and happy, and now you've lost weight, so you really weren't happy."
Right.
Monique has been accused of the same thing, calling skinny, and then she lost a bunch of weight. And so, now, and we've even seen people who are not like obese, like Beyonce drinking that lemonade and cayenne water diet and losing all these weights from movies. And then people were doing it and then their bodies were shutting down. I think as women, we put a lot of pressure on ourselves, to try to maintain a degree of beauty, though it fades. But now, Lady T, we've ratcheted it up. Yeah, it's tax season and we're flying to Miami to get our bodies done. But for those who are not flying to Miami, they're getting these injections, and sometimes they're not coming like from the hospital. And so, it's scary out here because I say do what you gotta do to look and feel your best, whatever that looks like. But just know that there's a trade-off somewhere, because they don't tell us everything, when we putting stuff in our body. You think a few years ago, when these girls were out there getting those butt injections, they were getting like Fix-A-Flat put in their bodies, and now their legs are getting numb. I mean, it's a trade-off for everything. I agree with you, Janelle. It's not worth the risk.
Not worth the risk, right? And I don't think we hear about the risky parts of it all the time. And we tend to be a people of followers. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, if it worked for her, it worked for me. And if it da. Hey, Dee, thank you so much for joining us. Thank you so much. But so people are, a lot of people ran from that other needle that they was asking us to get right back in 2018, 19. They didn't know what was in that, but somebody could get on TV and say, we got a mixture here, and it's similar to that the other popular med thing that people are taking for weight loss or whatever, and they don't tell you the downside to that. They don't tell you all the bad things that can happen. Even if you try to Google it, you're not going to get it all. You know what I'm saying? So you can't just try to live up to the people's the people. Who are the people anyway? But someone's standard of what they think beauty is, and it's not worth the risk. Personally, that's how I feel about it. We do know people that I think it became popular in Hollywood even. I think Oprah and all of them started doing it. And then people that need medication, your diabetics and things like that, they can't hardly get to it because since, what I think you told me, Janet, earlier, that the sale of the medication was so low at one point, and all they did was introduce, you can lose weight. And everybody can't keep on the shelves.
Yes. Yes. That's the crazy part. So when it was a diabetic medicine only, nobody was checking for it. People were still taking metformin and taking insulin. The moment they repackaged it as a weight loss injection, the stock went through the roof. They can't keep it. People who need it can't get it. And then it got to a point last year where they were saying, listen, if you do not have diabetes, we're not writing this prescription. Then they were like, cancel that. Anybody can get it if you can pay for it. And I know with certain companies, I won't call any names, if you did not get approved, those shots could be as much as $1,200 a month, and people were paying to get it.
Girl, please read Dana's comment. Dana, you are so funny.
Oh my goodness. Dana writes, and this is for our Oak 93.5 FM listeners, because you can't see these comments, but we're getting ready to read them. Dana writes, they said Oprah took so much that Gail lost 12 pounds.
So, of course, if Oprah took it, everybody got to have it. But baby, I haven't seen Oprah in a minute, but I know that by their own admission, they're taking that stuff. So you really got to be be mindful, be willing to take the risk. And is it worth it? And my big question is, you have to continue to take it after you got down to where you want to be? I don't know. You know what I'm saying? And is my body going to act like it wants it every day beyond? Anyway. So all of this is because, go ahead, Jan. I was getting ready to say, go ahead. You were getting ready to say.
Oh, you that kind of took my breath with that comment right there, because that's what people aren't talking about. And we need some of y'all pharmacologists, some of you pharmaceutical people, you researchers, y'all need to tell us if we have any healthcare professionals. We want to know, can you come off of it? Or once you come off the needle, can you maintain it after the fact, or you own it for the rest of your life? How does that work?
Right. Because I know that if the insurances are charging more for them, and then they sell what kind of stuff people gonna start. They're gonna start selling on Tumu, and they're gonna start selling it on Sheen, and y'all gonna all be trying to buy that stuff. Don't do it. I'm just saying, stay away. Stay away. Amazon to have a little mixture of stuff. I'm just saying, just be when I think once you learn how to eat properly, you know what I'm saying? I really think you can grasp hold of that and just, and I'm speaking from size 16 over here, but I'm just saying, if you just learn how to eat properly and just, you can do this yourself, I think. She's still maintaining at 71. Ooh, who's maintaining at
Girl,
71?
Oprah is not maintaining. Oprah lied. Oprah said
Over
she was on
71.
Weight Watchers, how she lost that weight. She won't telling people she was on that needle.
She didn't
Oprah,
tell.
Oprah.
Girl, she didn't tell us, did she, honey? And there's a few more of them out there, But whatever, to each his own. Our plea is that you look, you do your homework. Dee Dee said the shot do make you lose weight. I'm on one because I am diabetic, but I want to get off all diabetic medication. Uh, for real, DD, that's the best thing you could do and the best thing you could say. I'm telling you, and that's coming from someone who visited a holistic doctor. And the faster the better, because I know it's one start with the M. I won't say the name, but I just know that the effects are just negative, and that that stuff. It's like you fix one thing, you tear something else. But these major organs, I don't need to keep that. I want my liver pretty good. I need my liver good. I need my kidney good. Dana said, I can't see hers for some reason, Janet. Why?
Dana said, well, I've heard that when you come off them shots, you better have a plan.
Right. And that's what I'm thinking. That's fair. Nobody wants to take something every day of their lives for the rest of their lives. And who can afford that? If you do, Janelle says, if you do and come off of it, you will have to work harder to maintain it, but with the right diet plan. Well, wow. Listen, Roberta said she lied. She said, wait, what? Exactly. Good call out. Because she definitely did not make that public.
And girl, you remember the Weight Watchers stock went through the roof.
Yep.
Everybody was signing up for Weight Watchers.
Had me going over there putting my $10. I was like, I can't count this. I can't do this. I probably went one day. I was done. She said, yes, Janelle. And Dana said, yes, Janelle. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, overlied. Yes, people are getting gastroparesis on this medication from Roberta. Oh, stomach.
I don't know. I don't know what that means. I don't know what that means.
Paralyzing, I think.
It's paralyzing. I was gonna say that. Now I heard. Now I don't know, but I heard that your stomach muscle gets paralyzed. I don't know how that works, but that sounds painful.
Wow. Yeah. Wow. So it behooves you. Like I said, we're not talking for or against whatever you choose to do with your body. I ain't with that your body, your choice thing, but it's whatever you do. We just want you to look at both sides of it. You know what I'm saying? That's all. And know that you're beautiful. It's about you and how you feel about yourself. Don't let the world tell you what beauty is. You know what I'm saying? Thick thighs say lives is what I heard. So, so don't worry about it. You're beautiful. Motility. I'm not sure what about the medication, but whatever it is, you're probably right. And it just behooves us all to do our research, do our homework, and not try to live up to the world standard of beauty. You know what I'm saying? That's all I got to say about that. But lose your weight, honey, because yes, be summertime fun, but you can check your diet. Check, you know what I'm saying? Move up the eating time. Push the plate away a little bit. You know what I'm saying? And then as you get older, it doesn't fall off like that. So you gotta have some patience. That's patience. Good work in you. I digress. Jay, it's been real, girl. I think it's almost about that time. But before we go, if you all came in late, our girl JT is celebrating her 47th birthday on Friday. We want y'all to put some happy birthdays in the comments. Send some love to our girl, your girl. She's here week in, week out, and I tell you, it wouldn't be a show without her. But we want to say happy birthday to you, Janet, on this Friday. And may God bless you to see many, many, many more. We're not together, so I can't bring you that cake that you did for my birthday in the studio. Got you, girl. God, thank you all so much for tuning in, for hanging in there with us. Please also let us know in the comment if you were here and you didn't say anything. Just say hi so we know that you were there. Join us next Tuesday, 5 p.m. right here on 93.5 on your FM dial or our personal Facebook pages We will be here. Janelle said, you know, I missed it. Oh, those are your birthday shouts, girl. There's your shout. They coming for you, girl. And thank y'all so much for doing that, showing that love, because she is definitely one worthy of it. Hey, Marilyn, God bless you, lady, woman of God. All right, JT, girl, we got to go.
Yes, we got to go. But listen, the show isn't over. We want to hear from you in the comments. We have talked about a lot today. We've talked about becoming a mother past the age of 40 plus. We've talked about, you know, do you continue in your assignment if you're struggling with a vice, or do you sit down and let the Lord heal you and deliver you and then you start again? We want to hear your opinion on that. And then we close the show with, you know, our beautiful soul sister, neo soul sister number one, Angie Stone, giving her flowers because she was a phenomenal talent. And you know, she for some of us, she sang us into a happy place. And so we definitely want to make sure that we celebrate her life because she's left an amazing legacy. And thank you all for the birthday shout outs. I really do appreciate it. But listen, there would be no show without Lady T, because honey, she brings the energy every week. We love her.
Thank you, Mother Julia Douglas, for being our faithful listener week in and week out, honey. I tell you, that's the mother, grandmother of the year, honey. She'll jump on that highway, come up here for her grandson's birthday, and turn right back around and go back home. She lets no grass grow under her feet. That's my happy baby for y'all. Look at my mother. All right, y'all, we gotta go. Thank you again for hanging in there with us, and you all have a great rest of your week. And I don't know, check the weather, because I heard we about to get something in the air. So y'all pray, check the weather.
Check the weather. Get some canned goods.
I'm telling you. All right, y'all, we gotta go. But Jude, thank you. Janet, girl, you getting all the shouts out. Y'all send the love. Y'all have a blessed week. And please, if you know someone that's going through and they're grieving,
listen, y'all have a good night. We'll see you next week.
Good night, y'all. Bye.
Bye.